There's a great Anthony Bourdain quote that goes something like, travel is not leisure, it's education for life. I think for me that was especially true. For most of my life, I measured my self-worth in stage time. That was the metric, time on stage. More gigs, more tours, more records, more bands, more nights under the lights. That meant I was doing well. And you know what? I succeeded at it. I went to music school. I played in like 7 bands at once. I recorded 9 albums, I think, and I did some touring. And then I decided I wanted to step it up a notch. So I ditched all my earthly possessions and I moved onto a boat, a cruise ship to be exact, to play music every day. And then I woke up one day and I realized this metric is broken. I'm John. A year ago, I was on the Norwegian Prima crossing the Atlantic, playing bass in the Sid Norman Band. Now I live here in Kansas City. I work a day job at JHS Pedals, and I play music maybe once or twice a month. This is the story of how I got here and what it took to figure out that stage time and self-worth are not the same thing. I got into ships knowing that it wasn't going to be forever. There are people who make a whole career out of it, sure. But for me, I knew I was only going to last 1 to 2 years, and I made it 2 years exactly, actually. My first contract was to Alaska, Hawaii, French Polynesia, and Australia and New Zealand. And it was a great time. Everything was new. The food, the noises, the emergency drills, the chain of command, playing with musicians from all over the world. It had that first day of school feeling about it, that energy. It was genuinely, it was really fun. I was being paid to travel the world and play music at the same time. My metric was working, and I was happy. When I signed off, they offered me another contract, and I took it. I had a 6-month vacation, and the first month or 2 of it actually felt like a vacation. But after a while, it got difficult. I was living at home with my parents trying to save money on rent. I was driving for DoorDash trying not to spend the money I just saved. I remember the email exactly. Tuesday afternoon. I just picked up some Dunkin' Donuts for a customer. It's a slow day. And my agent writes me, "Hey, are you available to leave on Saturday? We need a sub for the Sid Norman's band." I replied, "Yes, Y-E-S, yes," before I even closed the email. He sends me back a playlist. 6 hours of 70s and 80s rock. Basically yacht rock. LOL. It's 5 sets. I've got 3 days to learn it and pack a bag for 5 weeks. So I memorized the first show, and I figure I'll just learn the next show every day before we play it. That's pretty much what I did. I spent 5 weeks on that boat, traveling from San Juan to Rome, stopped in Spain, Portugal, Casablanca, and France. And the metric was still working. I was playing more than ever, and I was hella happy. Look at me, man. I'm a musician. I'm working. I'm on a boat in the middle of the ocean. I'm traveling the world, stamping my passport. I got my instrument with me. This is the dream. This has always been the dream. I came home for 30 days and then went out again on the next contract, which I had already been booked for. Then, New Year's Day 2025, I flew to Tampa Bay, Florida for what would become my last contract. We had 2 weeks of rehearsals in Tampa, and that was my last upload. Was about halfway through that contract on the Norwegian Prima. But somewhere in the middle of it, it started to fall apart. At one point during that contract, I realized that my metric was broken. I was playing a lot, 6 days a week, 8 shows a week, with 1 day off if we were lucky, and it was starting to feel like Groundhog Day, and I was tired in a way that wasn't physical. I remember the moment that I decided I was finished working on the ships. I was standing at my muster station one morning during emergency drill. I was undercaffeinated. I was sleep deprived. The safety officer, he's standing right by me. He's questioning one of the singers on how many rocket flares are in a lifeboat. I still couldn't tell you. People are running around. It's chaos. It's stressful. And it's 8 a.m. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I can't do this again. I can't subject myself to this for another 6 months. This isn't how I want to spend my time. I think I had assumed that if I just kept playing, kept gigging, kept saying yes, that would add up to a life. The math made sense in college. It made sense at 25. But by age 30, 18 months on a ship, that metric had stopped working completely. I was living the dream, and it was burning me out. So I made some phone calls, and I pulled some strings, and I landed a job here in Kansas City at JHS Pedals. I live here with my girlfriend, Michaela. You might know her as Mickey P. She's a fabulous musician and singer-songwriter. You should check out her music. And I only play like once or twice a month now. And you know what? That's enough. Most of the people in the online music space seem to be either full-time performers or full-time content creators. But the cats with the day jobs in the industry, those of us making the pedals, fixing the amps, sanding the necks, soldering the circuits, that whole layer doesn't get a whole lot of camera time. I find this work very fulfilling. I find it fulfilling in a way that performance ultimately was not. The thing I had to learn, and the only way to learn anything is to live it, is that stage time was never the actual measure. It was a stand-in for something I hadn't named yet. Figuring things out, fixing what's broken, and the few people who get that, I get it now from a workbench in Kansas City and my bass here in the living room. 18 months at sea taught me that. I just had to circle the globe to learn that I needed to fix myself first. So that's where I've been for the last year, and boy, am I glad to be back. If you've ever dealt with burnout or struggled with a career change, let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see what I'm up to next. Thanks for watching.